Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel with me, Zamnia Alistia, and in today's lessons, I'll be your English tutor. Welcome to our English grammar lessons. I hope all of you are doing well and ready to learn something new today. Before we begin, I would like to ask you simple questions. Have you ever read sentences like this? I would study English. I would have studied English. I would have been studying English. At first glance, they look almost the same because they all use the word would. But did you know that each other sentence has a different meaning? Many English learners got confused because these tenses are not used as often as the present or past tenses. But however, you will find them in English books, movies, novels, reported speech, conditional sentences, and even in job interview. So if you ever wonder when to use would be, have, or would have been, this lesson is for you. So today, we're going to learn the 4 past future tenses step by step using simple explanations, timelines, real-life situations, dialogues, and short quizzes. So don't worry if these tenses seems difficult now, but by the end of these lessons, you will understand when and how to use each one correctly. So let's get started. Okay, let's begin with the first tense. We have simple past future. So, what is simple past future tense? The simple past future tense is used when someone in the past talk about something that was still in the future. So, think about this carefully. Imagine today is Friday, and then yesterday was Thursday. And then on Thursday, you said, I will visit my grandmother tomorrow. So, when we tell the story today, we don't say will anymore. Instead, we say, I said that I would visit my grandmother. Can you notice how will change into would because we are reporting something from the past? So this one is the most common uses of simple past future. The formula of simple past future tense is subject, would, and then verb 1. This is very simple, but you need to remember after would, we always use the best form of the verb. Not would goes or not would went, just would go. Go, the simple past. Let's look at some examples. I will call you after the class. She said she would come to the meeting, and then next believe the weather would be sunny. His teacher said he would become a successful doctor someday. So, all these sentences describe a future event that was viewed from the past. This is the real life dialogue example for the past future tenses. Character is Emma and then Rian. I'll be Emma first. What did your brother say yesterday? He said he would help me with my homework. Did he help you? Yes, he did. Did you notice that Rian is reporting what his brother said? That's why he used would help. In another situations, imagine you were 10 years old. At that time, you thought, I will become a pilot. And then years later, you will tell your friends, when I was a child, I thought I would become a pilot. Yes, the actions was in the future from your childhood perspective. So, they use would. Let's look at some mistake many learners make. This is the incorrect one. She would goes to schools, and then this is the correct one. She would go to school. Remember, after would, never add s, ed, or ing. We always use verb 1. Okay? Now, let's move to the next lessons. Okay, now we're going to learn about past future continuous tenses. These tenses sounds complicated, but it's actually quite logical. What is past future continuous? These tenses describes an actions that someone expected would be happening at a particular time in the future, from a point in the past. Unlike previous tenses, this one focus on an activity that will be in progress. The formula is subject, would be, and then verb ing. This is for the examples. I would be studying, she would be working, they would be traveling. Did you notice that after would, we add be and then the verb ends with ing? Let's compare these two sentences. I would study English. This simply means I plan to study. Now look at this one. I would be studying English. This means I expected that at a certain time I would already be in the middle of studying. So the second sentence emphasizes the ongoing activity. Timeline examples. Imagine it was Monday. You told your friends tomorrow at 8 p.m. I would be taking my English exam. Monday, Tuesday evening was still in the future. You were talking about something that you expected to be happening at that specific time. More examples. She said she would be working all afternoon. They believe we would be staying at hotel. Here's the example of real-life dialogue. What were your plans for yesterday evening? David will answer. I thought I would be watching a movie with my friends. So, did you? No, we'll cancel the plan. Again, notice how David talks about something that he expected would be happening. This is the quick practice. Can you complete this sentence? At 9 p.m., she blah 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 for her final exams. Think carefully. Yes, the answer is would be studying. You're excellent. Okay, so far we'll learn the simple past future and the past future continuous. So now let's move on to the third tenses, past future perfect tense. Many English learners think this sentence is very difficult, but once you understand the idea behind it, it's actually quite easy. So what is past future perfect tenses? The past future perfect tenses is used to describe an actions that someone expected or believed would already have been completed before at the certain time, or another actions in the future view from the past. In other words, these tenses focus on a complete actions. So let's imagine a situations. Last Monday, your teacher said by Friday you will have finished your project. Now imagine you're telling your friends what your teacher said. My teacher said we would have finished the project by Friday. Notice that you are talking about something that at that time in the past was expected to be complete before Friday. So the formula is subject, would have, and then verb 3. Let's look at some examples. I would have completed the report before the meeting. She said she would have graduated by 20 and 26. They believe the train would have arrived before noon. The manager expected the team would have completed the project by the end of the month. Do you notice the pattern? Every sentence talk about something that was expected to be finished. And this is the common time expressions. You will often see words like by tomorrow, by Friday, by then, before, by the end of the month, and then by next year. These expressions help us understand that the actions is expected to be complete before another point in time. Let's look some mistakes. The incorrect one, she would have finished her homework. And then the correct one, she would have finished her homework. Remember, after would have, always use verb 3, not verb 1. Okay, quick practice. Can you complete this sentence? By next month, he blah 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 the report. Take a few seconds to think about this. What is the correct answer? Yes, would have completed. Good job. Now let's continue to our final tenses. Okay, now we're going to learn the longest and the most advanced tense in today's lessons. Past, future, perfect, continuous. Don't let the long name scares you. It's actually built from ideas you've already learned. What is past, future, perfect, continuous? These tenses is used to describe how long an activity would have been happening before a certain point in the future, viewed from the past. And the key of the idea of this sentence is the durations. Unlike the past, future, perfect, which focus on completions, this tenses is focused on how long an actions continue. The formula is subject, would have been, and then verb ing. For the examples, I would have been studying, she would have been working, they would have been traveling. So let's understand the differences. Let's compare these two sentences. I would have finished my homework. This tells us the homework would be completed. Now compare it with these sentences. I would have been studying for 3 hours. This doesn't focus on finishings. Instead, it tells us that the studying would have continued for 3 hours. That's the biggest difference. Okay, let's look up the real-life examples. My sister told she would have been living in Japan for 3 years by then. For examples, I would have been working here for 5 years by next June. So the important information isn't that the work ends, but the important information is the 5-year durations. You know? Okay. There's also common mistakes. The first one, the incorrect one, she would have been studying English. The correct one, she would have been studying English. So remember to use the ing form after be. And then another mistake is they would have studying with they would have been studying. So you don't forget the word been. We need to put the been. Okay, quick practice. Can you complete this sentence? By noon, I blah 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 for 4 hours. Okay, take your time. The correct answer is would have been studying. Excellent, you've now learned all 4 past future tenses. Okay, that's all our lessons for today. Remember, grammar becomes easier when you learn it through context and practice instead of memorizing the rules. Try to creating your own sentences using each of these 4 tenses, and you will notice your English become more natural and then accurate.
That's all for this lesson.
We hope you enjoy learning tenses with us.
Keep practicing and keep improving your English. Thank you for watching and
Goodbye!